I know exactly what you're thinking when you click on a video with this title, but I'm being 100% serious when I say remember the time Moshi Monsters was sued by Lady Gaga. But some backstory first of all. Moshi Monsters was a children's MMORPG played on a web browser developed by the British company Mindcandy, which actually ended up having over 80 million users worldwide. The game launched in April 2008, which fit right in alongside the classics such as Club Penguin, Bin Weevils and Movie Star Planet, the latter of which is actually the only one still standing today. The premise of the game was simple. Once you created your account, you chose from one of 6 monsters: Furry, Poppet, Zomer, Diavolo, Katsuma and Lovely. Quick shout out to anyone who chose Diavolo back in the day, he was my OG. In all honesty, I did move to Katsuma because he was cooler, but Diavolo, you're always in my heart, brother. Anyone who picked Zomer isn't watching this video right now because they're most likely behind bars. Once you chose your favourite monster, you were then thrown into Monstro City, which is the main location where most of the gameplay takes place. From this point on, you're sort of free to do whatever you want. You could play minigames to earn currency called rocks, fill your monster's house with all sorts of wacky decorations, plant flowers in your garden to attract these rare creatures called moshlings, which were sort of like pets for your monster. It had all of the standard aspects of those online MMORPGs of the early 2000s. Through time, the creators released a handful of parody moshlings as sort of in-game lower pop celebrities, most notably Dustbin Beaver, which was a parody of Justin Bieber, and Lady Goo Goo, which was clearly a parody of, you guessed it, Lady Gaga. Initially, despite the nameplate, the two obviously bore no physical resemblance to one another. The issue arose when Mindcandy, the creators of Moshi Monsters, began to release music videos on YouTube as a tie-in to the world they had created. The music videos blew up and were loved by fans of the game, however there was one person who did not quite see the funny side of Lady Goo Goo. After the success of the music videos, Mindcandy saw an opportunity to expand their monetary gains from Moshi Monsters beyond just the online game, exploring other avenues such as merchandise, a movie.
Pessimist? I'm not. I just think awful things are gonna happen. When
and even a planned album called Moshi Music. Mindcandy had planned to release various parody songs by the character of Lady Goo Goo on their album Moshi Music, but this is where Eat My Heart Inc., Lady Gaga's legal team, stepped in. They filed for a lawsuit against Mindcandy, arguing that Lady Goo Goo was too similar to Lady Gaga and the parody was no longer protected under fair use laws, as Mindcandy had planned to commercially release the music as opposed to just posting silly music videos on YouTube to expand the lore of the world. The most notable examples the legal team gave was the Moshi dance sounding extremely similar to Bad Romance, and Peppy Razzi, obviously being a cop-out of paparazzi. It seemed to be once Mindcandy pushed towards commercially publishing and profiting off the Lady Goo Goo parodies that the legal team stepped in. Their solicitors battled it out, and in October 2011, the High Court of Justice of England and Wales granted Eat My Heart Inc. an interim injunction to stop Mindcandy from releasing music by the character of Lady Goo Goo. Justice Voss ruled that Lady Goo Goo could appear in the Moshi Monsters game, but beyond that, they were not allowed to release, promote, advertise, sell, distribute, or otherwise make available
any music, work, or video that purports to be performed by a character of the name of Lady Goo Goo, or that otherwise uses the name Lady Goo Goo or any variant thereon.
And so that marked the end of Lady Goo Goo. It's easy to see both sides in this incident. For Mindcandy, they stated after the ruling, it's pretty obvious that kids will be able to tell the difference between the two characters. The shame is that millions of kids fell in love with Lady Goo Goo's debut single on YouTube, and now won't be able to enjoy her musical exploits. It was all done in the name of fun, and we would have thought that Lady Gaga could have seen the humour behind this parody. Earlier the same year, she also threatened legal action against Baby Gaga ice cream milk made from human breast milk, vanilla pods and lemon, not because it's absurd and definitely violating numerous health risks, but because of the name similarity. But on the other side, Lady Goo Goo was an obvious rip-off, and allowing parody songs to be sold for actual money and corporate profit was far beyond just a little nod to a pop artist. It was actively infringing on the brand and music she'd worked so hard to build up. Mindcandy eventually phased out Lady Goo Goo completely from Moshi Monsters, instead replacing her with their own pop moshling, Baby Rocks. But what do you think about this case? Do you think Lady Gaga was in the wrong for suing Moshi Monsters? Or do you think Mindcandy took it too far by trying to capitalise off of obviously stolen music? Due to security concerns, it was announced that Adobe Flash Player, which was the backend for a lot of these big in-browser games, would be discontinued in December 2020. Moshi Monsters was already going downhill due to the active player base dropping as the players were growing up. British startup Mind Candy saw its revenues more than half in 2016 as it failed to recapture the early glory days of its hit kids game Moshi Monsters. As the revenue was falling every year, the firm couldn't guarantee it won't go bust at some point. With staff layoffs, increasing losses, and even having to take out multiple loans to keep things afloat, they eventually announced that on the 13th of December 2019, they would be officially closing down the servers, using the Adobe Flash Player discontinuation as a cover. And they did, instead focusing on creating a sleep app called Moshi, which reuses all the same characters for a $9.99 monthly or $59.99 annual fee.
Snuggle down. Close your eyes. Cozy up and relax. We're off to the sleepiest, dreamiest corner.
But that would be the end of Moshi Monsters. Until recently, when the creators of Moshi Monsters dropped this trailer for a Kickstarter project to bring the game back on mobile, writing the lore as Monstro City has been destroyed by a mysterious flash droid.
Government officials.
Monstro City is counting on you.
Their minimum goal is to raise £250,000, but they have goals all the way up to $2.5 million, which is a bit optimistic. I mean, steady on. They reached the goal within 24 hours only to realise that was actually false, and a bad actor made many fake pledges with the clear intent of misleading and sabotaging the campaign. So once the fake pledges were removed, the current total is now standing at £87,000, with 54 days left to go. It'll be interesting to see whether they reach this goal and successfully revive Moshi Monsters, or if it should have been left where it started in the early 2000s. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Quick side note now that we've reached the end of the video, I just wanted to say seriously thank you all so much for the support in the last two videos, especially the Ben 10 one, which right now is currently sitting at over 500,000 views. Thanks to all the new subscribers and watch hours it drew in, that one video alone managed to propel my channel into getting monetized, which I still can't believe. At the minute I'm planning to upload a new video every 1 to 2 weeks. I know I've already messed that up, but I was away for a few days to fly home to graduate, so please just take that as a one-off. Currently we're sitting at just under 3,000 subscribers, which is actually insane, and I'm extremely grateful for it. I didn't think a 1,000 sub Q&A video would have been appropriate because it'll happen so fast and I don't think anyone really cares enough yet, but maybe in the future. I'm open to any video topics, so if there's something you'd like to see me do on this channel, please let me know. But anyways, thanks again folks, much love to you all.